for inviting us to present one of the most important pillar of the whole topic that we are discussing in this CFS meeting. Dinesh ji, we heard that fantastic sessions on, first of all, learning, collaboration, and what was the third one? Oh, thank you very much. So innovation, definitely. The question that is,
innovation.
sorry?
What third one? Innovation? Oh, okay. Collaboration.
Yeah, three topics in any order, that's fine. So the question that is coming to my mind is, Dinesh ji, how are we going to achieve it? Collaboratively, collectively, individually, and for the organization. Correct? That's the question that comes into mind. How?
Yeah.
So can you take a quick check first? The topic of accountability, how it flows into our mind.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I have a request to everyone, if everybody can.
Move to menti.com.
Yeah. I'll just present it. Give me a moment, please. कोड आएगा.
Can everyone go on menti.com?
On your phone browser or laptop browser, just type menti.com,
Yeah.
www.menti.com.
I'm ready.
Just a minute, please.
Yeah.
Is it coming?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. So the OT
The code is 3244
yeah.
9427.
So the voting is completely anonymous. We don't know anybody's name, employee number. Please feel free to vote.
And request everyone to give their full participation, please. This is 3244 9427. I'll request all the online participants also to log into menti.com and give their opinion as well. how many participants are there, Soumitra, altogether? Altogether. No, online how many? 40. And offline? 95. So we have 28, 34, 40. Please vote. We'll have the maximum maybe 10 seconds more, and then we'll just close this poll. Yeah. The bar is increasing. No, 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 no. Picture अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त.
Please vote quickly.
Yep. You want to wait?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. We are closing the poll. So we have almost 46 participants out of total voted. Now 48. About 15 and I'll say 50, about 65 have voted. -3, and majority of them say that yes, when we look at our peers, we think they are accountable. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your voting. We'll move to the presentation quickly. Yes.
So, I think the score which has come, it's excellent, you know. Yeah. 77? Yeah, yeah. So generally 80% of, you know, the CEOs feel that there is a challenge on the accountability globally. Hello? Yeah. So our trend is almost representing very similar kind of range, and please go ahead. So here what we also did is we had a survey of the team, and the outcome is here in terms of bubble. The larger bubble is larger proportion of the outcome which team has responded. That means almost 2/3 of the respondents have given weightage and ownership and responsibility. So roughly 1/3 of the respondents felt that the idea of accountability is slightly different. So roughly 2/3 versus 1/3. This is the kind of equation which has come out in the poll.
Yeah, but this is still I'll say a scattered way of understanding amongst the team on the accountability as a concept. Yeah, we'll definitely this puts us some questions on the mind. Is accountability and responsibility the same? Is accountability and ownership the same? Is accountability a mindset or a behavior? Whether it is singular or collective, whether is it a team type of thing, whether a team can be accountable or team can be responsible, or it's an individual responsibility to be accountable. So these are the questions which we'll answer shortly. As you can see, it's a very good picture I found on internet, of course. What stands in between a responsibility and accountability? There's one word: correct? What is that word that you see? Ownership. Ownership. That's the crux of the accountability. Ownership. Now, two things. Whether accountability again differs from responsibility. Okay. So, responsibility is obligatory, and accountable means you are answerable. So, uh, it's about answerable for the outcome, correct? And outcome is something which you should own. That's the accountability in short.
That means no blame game?
No.
Okay.
Can a team be accountable? Can anybody elaborate? Team can be accountable? Any other views? Sorry? Team leader is. And what is a team leader? Is it individual? Correct? Yes, correct? Of course, within the team also each one is accountable for their own work. And ultimately the team leader is also accountable for the team's work and the end result as well. Correct? Any other thought that comes to your mind when it comes to accountability or responsibility? Sending an email and waiting for somebody to do something about it. What is that? Okay, मैंने मेल भेज दिया, मेरा काम हो गया क्या? Is it done? No, correct? What was your responsibility or what was your accountability? Sending an email? No. It's a classic example. I am telling you that it's a practical example everyone faces. I have sent an email. Does that closes the loop? Never, correct? Everything that starts has to come to an end. And there has to be a result linked to that end, correct? And that's where that result, you need to own it. Be it positive or be it negative. That's the ownership, that's the accountability that we talked about. A simple definition of accountability: willingness to accept responsibility for one's own action, correct? So it's 100% ownership that everybody has to take for their own action. They are answerable collectively, no matter whether it is a leader, whether it is an individual, or as a even organization for that matter is accountable to the customer, isn't it? As a collective representation of all the people, the organization is accountable to the customer, accountable to the government organization for compliances, and of course for various things that we talk about. At workplace, accountability, so holding employees accountable for a common goal, simply put, at an organization level. One of the examples that I would like to cite from my previous organization, it is a healthcare organization, and the motto was passion for life, and was dealing in ventilator machine. A government hospital calls at about 10 or 10:30 p.m. To managing director that we have a surgery lined up for welcoming a baby, but it is critical and we need to have a ventilator as soon as the baby is delivered. Even a single minute will cause the life. Okay, how I am relating it to accountability is that the statement that we formed, or the objective that was delivered to the doctor from the government hospital was, madam, we challenge ourselves and we promise you that the ventilator will reach you before the baby arrives. That was the objective, and then everything basically fell in line. So approvals were available because it was sent on FOC basis or demo basis. Supply chain was on hold. They were instructed, the moment you get an instruction, it has to move. Midnight 2 a.m. the ventilator was delivered, and the doctor said, "Thank you very much, the name of MD, your ventilator has arrived before the baby arrived." Accountability here, everyone in the line of duty was accountable for this one small incident, and we saved life. We definitely saved life.
So another just example, I have joined Reliance Energy in 1999, and those days the practice Reliance used to follow, there was no place for responsibility. I have not seen this word in my experience. Always when minutes will happen, discussion will happen, every time owner, the space was filled by owner or ownership. So the person name will come as an owner, not as a responsible for. So this kind of practice some organizations have followed. So just I wanted to let you know.
Yeah, a simple statement which can bring in this is, it starts with you, it starts with me, and it starts with everybody at that individual level. And then of course collectively it progresses in the direction which an organization wants it to be. Correct? It starts with you, correct? Can we say loudly, I own it?
Everybody agrees?
Can we say loudly, I own it? I own it.
I own it.
We own it. Thank you very much. So the question comes again, while accountability is a word, but we are talking about culture. In the last 3 topics also we talked about culture of innovation, culture of learning, and culture of collaboration. Can you let me know why we are talking about culture? Any ideas from anyone, please? Thank you, Vikas ji. But still, why are we talking about culture? Who said that? Thank you very much. Embedded. So as a human, we agree that we are driven by culture, correct? And no matter what happens, COVID came in. Did we basically went away from our culture? No, correct? Did we stop our habits? Did we stop brushing teeth? Is it habit, correct? So culture brings in consistency. Consistency becomes habit, and then habit practiced becomes a sustainable thing, correct? So the culture has to be sustained. So everything that we are talking about today has to be sustainable for the coming period, correct? And that's why we are talking about culture. How do we build a culture of 1, 2, 3, 4? Few of the statements that talks about why we would like to basically build a culture. So culture, it speaks about building a trust, cooperation, collaboration. It also basically brings in responsibility. It brings in creativity also. We saw in learning also, we saw in innovation, we saw in collaboration. Everywhere if you put accountability, there must be some creativity which is coming out. Generates respect, because once you take or you own the own your action, it will create respect for you as well, correct? No matter whether it is bad or good. Of course, consequences can be either way. We have a short video to play here, uh, which talks about what are the practices, or which will basically put a thought in your mind, and you have to respond to the last question that we talked about. Okay. Sorry. आवाज कैसे आ रहा है? वॉल्यूम फुल? नहीं, तो उतना भी आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. फुल फुल. How do we do it? हम
Sorry.
कल की बात याद आ रही है सर. नहीं. आ रहा है, ऊपर आवाज आ रहा है. हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
बिल्कुल. ओके. या. Skip. It's okay. Yeah, Dinesh ji, so
We'll skip the video for time being.
yeah, so we saw that accountability, how it works, correct? It's a mindset, correct? We need to work upon it, and it starts with you. We said that I own it. That's it. That's the crux of it, and we want to build a culture of it, not just for an instance, correct? When we go to the next slide, Dinesh ji, can you put some more light on the result-oriented working, which are again interlinked to the commitment that we make?
So Pankaj, this is another result which team has opted. On the question, how do you want to contribute to build the culture of result-oriented work, CFS, where mindset comes as a major factor, followed by accountability and feedback. So these are the very key areas we find as a key takeaway from the survey. So here almost 50 respondents have responded. So it would have been good that number is more, so that the sample size becomes better. But this is the input which comes based on the almost 50 respondents. So developing culture of result orientation. So the result orientation is nothing but geared towards the achieving results. So generally we hear most of the time that solution oriented approach, I am solution provided, you are solution provided. But when we say result orientation, it has slightly different orientation, not the solution provider. So normally whenever it comes on the big goals, challenging goals, the first thing which comes to, generally it comes to our mind is, I will give my 200%. That is general, feeling comes, I will give my 200%. But time is changing, environment is changing, technology is changing, working culture is changing, tendency is changing, customers' behavior is changing, everything is changing. And in this kind of changing or dynamic environment, only our effort is not sufficient. Effort matters, but result matters most. So some of the key takeaways from the result-oriented culture is the core focus is on meeting and exceeding the goals. It also means that thinking strategically, managing skillfully, and making good decisions. How we make good decision, that is very important. No matter decision is small or big, but how we make good decision, because the decision which we make, it has implication on us, on the organization. Some decisions may reflect today, some may not. Like yesterday we had detailed content on this example of bamboo tree. We see something after 5 years. So implication is possibly not fully known at the stage when we are making decision, but what we need to do, we have to try to make best possible decision in the given circumstance. So employees have their goals, it is in sync with the team goals, again, which is aligned with the organization's larger goals and values. Getting the job done with fearless approach is one of the very, very key aspect of result orientation. So one small example, we all are fond of cricket. Virat Kohli is our brand ambassador. When he is in the last over of 2020 match, say in the 19th over, and there is target of 35 runs to catch, in just 10 or 12 balls, what kind of thought he would be having that time? I will go and check with my leader what my selector will think, what my other team member will think. Just imagine that situation. He is on the field, 35 runs to be made, only in 10 or 12 balls. What kind of, it's a very perplexed condition, not easy. And 20,000 people are clapping and shouting, It's a very difficult situation. So in that kind of circumstance, only what he has is result orientation, nothing else. He is thinking only, I don't bother, I will, who will think what, but I have only one goal, I have only goal, I need to achieve this result. This 35 run is only the result, and he will go behind it. So this is how effective, result orientation approach can be. In normal course, generally we will start feeling, most probably, that not possible, difficult, very difficult. Making the task central to the work, understanding a bigger picture and the financials, because whatever we do at some point of time in the commercial organizations, it turns into financials. And what kind of best result will look like? Eventually, as a leader, while it is we own to see that, it is also equally important that our each team member have that ability and capability in due course. Not necessarily that everything is there, but as a leader, it is our responsibility to bring that perspective to the individual team members, that they also start visualizing that. And this is where change is going to come. Change will come when everybody becomes leader. Reporting doesn't matter. Leader is leader. Eventually, when we have seen the last slide, which our team has voted, what was the biggest factor? Mindset. So, result orientation itself is a mindset. We have seen that it's very important factor which all of you have voted, you know. And why it is? If it is mindset, why? That is the question which comes. So if you see, mindset impacts the individual's behavior. If I start feeling positive, my behavior is going to be different. If I start feeling negative, my behavior is going to be very different. I start feeling discouraged, I will behave differently. I start feeling encouraged, I start behaving differently. Behavior changes. Behavior impacts our action. The way I feel, I will act. I am sad all the time, I can't see you happy. I am happy, I can't see you sad. Most likely reflection I am going to pass on, if not fully, to greater extent. And actions impacts our performance. So, eventually the mindset is in the crux of result orientation. It's in the heart. If mindset is getting right, we are heading closer and closer to the goals. The most important thing when we say mindset, how we are self-aware that what is my
current state of mind. Am I hindering my own development? Am I hindering the organization's goal? How we know that? So we have to have some sort of thoughtfulness, our own self-reflection of our own behavior, our mindset, and this is how we can see what are the key challenges which are perhaps hidden within us. The most important task is
identify that. Sometimes we call it blind spot. We all have blind spot. How quickly we can identify, the greater success is going to be.
One very good statement that I came across, I think, when we were discussing with Nikhil sir. There is a difference between getting up from the bed because I have to go to office and getting up from the bed to go to office. Get to office, correct? Yeah. So one, of course, because you are passionate about going to the office, and one is something which is forced upon you because of reasons. It can be different because of your financial responsibilities, but when you have some passion, you get to office rather than you have to go to office. That the mindset changes here.
Yeah. Thank you, Pankaj. So some people are programmed to be result oriented, some are not. But important is they need to recognize the need of it. That is most important. So a small example that what kind of approach is considered for solution orientation and what is for result orientation. So if child comes home with a school report with full of good grades except one, and the solution oriented person is going to focus on the bad grade, that is the start of journey for solution. But when we say result oriented person, he will try to see the positive side, how good the child has done and how we can replicate that for the bad areas or the poor areas. So this is basically playing on the strength. So normally there are three key features where accountable and result oriented individuals we may find. One is they are driven, they establish stretch targets, and they initiate to achieve their desired goals. So It is win-win situation for the employee, win-win situation for the organizations. Employees are result oriented, organization is going to be benefited. And as a leader, I am accountable for helping the team and connect their personal source of motivation and work realities to have a better view of their presence in the Blue Star. That is one commitment which I am making from here. There is another outcome of survey. Just quickly, I know that we are pushing the time. Already we have taken the time. What is your view to improve or strengthen Blue Star's environment of accountability and result-oriented working, where continuous learning and knowledge sharing has come one of the key factors? Appreciation and reward, the second one, and then collaboration and feedback. So, some simple and very effective activities. Clarity in the goal when we are setting our vision goals. Regular and quarterly meeting, preferably weekly meeting, is very effective. What we have seen is measure what is measurable and matters, assemble the right team and create accountability. So the quote which comes to our mind is, ideas are yesterday's, execution is today, and excellence will see you into tomorrow. So the execution excellence is eventually, this is what will decide where we are landing. So our journey has begun, and two quotes which has touched us, So everything is hard before it's easy. A German,
Yesterday we saw the first nail. When we were trying to put a nail, the first was very difficult, the second was very difficult. But when we started focusing on challenging ourselves, somebody has built 46, 43, 28. Correct?
And among us, we all are not on the same. We have different abilities, we have different capabilities, we have different thought process, we have different diversity features. The best quote which I can see is, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But idea is, keep on moving. Move a step. A small step is going to bring big change. It's a matter of journey. We have begun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So all the leaders took a lot of pain and a lot of effort to make these presentations. So really thankful and thank you to everyone who have made this presentation. Now the exciting part of it. The exciting part of it, now you have to judge all these leaders and all the teams, the 4 teams who have presented on 3 different criterias. I will be sending you the Google link. Just cast your vote and we can announce the winner after BTN sir gives his valuable speech. After that we'll announce the winner on all these 4 categories. Okay, I'll be just WhatsApping you the Google link and you can, while having tea also, you can cast your vote. Thank you.